Not talking about the fight last night, Serge Ibaka and Robin Lopez, where actually punches were thrown. We're talking about LaVar versus the King. Yes, LaVar Ball has now come at LeBron James. The father of Lonzo was on Chris Broussard's podcast where he said his children were set up for better success in the NBA than LeBron's kids. Said LaVar, you got LeBron. It's going to be hard for his kids because they're going to look at them like, you got to be just like your dad. And after a while, that pressure starts sitting on you like, why do I got to be just like him? What? Can't I just be me? And then they're going to be like, oh, you're soft. You're not that good, because the expectation is very, very high.
Well, little did LaVar, I think, know that LeBron and the Cavaliers were incidentally practicing on UCLA's campus. So LeBron was asked about the comments, and James did not mince any words. He said, keep my kid's name out of your mouth. Keep my family out of your mouth. This is dad to dad. It's a problem now. All right, Ryan, we've seen LaVar Ball spar with Charles Barkley, with Michael Jordan, but did he cross the line by talking about LeBron's children?
I think he did, and I'm going to speak from a dad's perspective here that, yeah, you don't know my kids, don't start talking about my family or my kids. And that's it. He could have been fine if he just said, you know, children of some of the game's greats, but he singled out LeBron. Hey, that's an offensive. That's putting a target on LeBron, LeBron's family, and I can see where LeBron's coming from, saying, hey, don't put my kids' names in your mouth. You don't know us. Don't talk about us. Now, here's the thing, though. Ball's message isn't all that crazy. What he's basically saying is kids of some of the biggest stars in any sport have an extreme amount of pressure on them. Yeah, they do. He's actually onto something. But, you know, he put the shot was fired towards LeBron, and I think LeBron was justified in his answer.
You know, I think what changes things here with LaVar is he goes from calling out Charles Barkley, who was able to clown himself on TV. He goes after Michael Jordan, saying he could kill him in a one-on-one, which everyone kind of laughs at when he says. But this is now a current NBA player that you're calling out. And to me, that may have ramifications on Lonzo when he gets to the NBA, and then further on with his next two kids if they want to go to the NBA. Right now, LeBron James is the biggest star in the sport currently. To start some kind of beef with him, I think that might be a little bit more of a red flag than, say, having a back and forth with Charles Barkley or, you know, claiming you could beat Michael Jordan, which nobody thinks is true. I mean, the irony of this is that LaVar is the one who's being accused of putting so much pressure on his kids, and now he's saying LeBron's kids won't live up to the pressure. I agree with you. That could be true. We all remember Michael Jordan's famous Hall of Fame speech where he says to his children sitting in the front row, I wouldn't want to be you.
Right,
it's very hard to follow in a famous parent's footsteps for sure, but I don't think that LaVar saying it, as you said, with LeBron's name attached to it was smart. I think this is something he could come to regret.
Yeah, and talk about putting extra pressure on your kid. I mean, Lonzo already has the pressure on him because of what his dad's been doing. Now he's calling out the best player in the game, arguably, who may face his son a year from now. So picture that game, the pressure, the hype, the media attention, when Lonzo, he may be a 6th or 7th man on that team as a rookie, facing LeBron and the Cavs. Of course, dad's going to be in the arena. Of course, dad's going to do pregame interviews. You're setting your son up for a big failure there, putting him up against the game's best and calling him out like this.
Yeah, I just feel like the story now is starting to change with LaVar. I mean, there's no doubt that LeBron is the most powerful player in the NBA right now. You don't want to poke that bear.
No, and you know what? LeBron could have easily just ignored him and paid him no mind. You know, LaVar is kind of turning into a gnat. It's just like, enough already. Someone ignore this guy so he stops talking. But I think until UCLA is eliminated, we're not going to see that.